Michigan has been so good this year. I mean, 33 wins up to this point in the season, looking to make some program history with their next victory, most wins in a single season in Wolverines basketball history. You're looking at it right there. And for a team that has been a part of this national championship conversation throughout the bulk of the year in only the second season for Dusty May, it does feel like now that we're here, the venue doesn't matter. The opponent doesn't matter. It feels like Michigan at their peak can beat anyone in the country. Does that feel like a reasonable statement to make right now, Mike, especially with the way they've looked in the first two games of the tournament?
I think absolutely, but that requires, getting to that peak requires a lot. And it starts at the point guard position with Elliot Cadeau. He was fantastic against St. Louis. Just absolutely on his game, making shots, making the right reads, not turning the ball over. And I think a lot of that is applicable against Alabama because, like St. Louis, Alabama is also not an exceptional defensive team. They're phenomenal on offense, just like the Billikens, but they are not great defensively. So don't waste possessions. Make good decisions. Get the ball in the hands of other players who can score. Get to your own shots, fine, but don't waste possessions. And I think that you're in great shape against Alabama. Alabama's offense is already compromised by the absence of Aiden Holloway, a 16, 17-point-a-game scorer, one of their best offensive players. So don't allow them to get transition opportunities. Don't allow them to get empty possessions against you because you have made bad decisions. I think that's all Michigan has to do is be precise with the basketball, and they will be fine in their matchup in the Sweet 16 against Alabama.
When Michigan is at their best, Mike, which end of the court impresses you more? Because not only are they one of the most explosive offenses in the country, they've been one of the best defenses in America as well.
I think their defense is elite, and for two reasons. It's Yaxel Lendeborg, who can guard any position on the floor. If you want to switch, you can switch 1 to 5 with him. And then you have, of course, Adai Mara up front with the unbelievable shot blocking, and as well as the fact that Merez Johnson is an elite defensive rebounder. So if you get first shot stops, you're more than likely going to get the basketball back. So all of that plays into an exceptional defensive unit. Namari Burnett does a great job on the wing. Roddy Gale as well. Everything that they have says that they are an extraordinary defense. Offensively, sometimes it can be a little bit of a challenge. We saw that against Duke. Duke was able to stack the perimeter, make it hard to penetrate. Yaxel is not a penetrator as yet from the small forward position because he's only been a small forward for what now, 6 months? And so that part of it can be a little bit difficult. But when you look at their defense, that can make everything else go for the Wolverines.
We tend to think about teams that advance deep into the tournament as those that are guard-centric, that are really led by exceptional play in the backcourt. We know Michigan's depth was hurt without LJ Kaysen. Does that present itself as a problem as you see it?
Well, I think it has the potential to be a problem because you had that safety net. You look at the Northwestern game from mid-February when Elliott was not playing well, and LJ came in and completely flipped the game along with Yaxel playing Yaxel basketball, but LJ's entrance made the difference in that game, and he basically played the remainder of that. You lost that safety net when he went down with the injury, so now Elliott has to be exceptional most nights. Now, exceptional doesn't necessarily mean he has to score 20 and get 10 assists. It just means what I talked about before, making the right decisions because you have great options on offense. You have so many different ways that you can score the ball. You can score it at the rim. You can score it from the perimeter. Merez is doing better at that. Yaxel is an outstanding three-point shooter when he's open and takes great shots. So Trey McKinney, a guy the one player that really became sort of an X factor for Michigan, especially when LJ went down, is Trey has to look for his shot more often. And when I say that, I'm not saying be more selfish. I'm saying no. Do what you have to do to make the Michigan offense better because there are going to be times, late clock, things aren't working from the set you call, where a player with Trey McKinney's creative ability, and that's for others, but primarily for himself, Trey McKinney's offensive ability can be a difference maker for Michigan in these biggest games. Every game now from here on, Sweet 16, Elite 8, at the Final Four, those are the biggest games, and you need that level of talent to win those games.
The matchup in the West between Purdue and Texas I find exceptionally fascinating because it looks like two teams who are really peaking at the right time. Now, Purdue with the preseason #1 expectations, they're not the only experienced team on the court, and both are ascending to get to this Sweet 16 game. Is there either who's maybe closest to their peak between Purdue and Texas?
Oh, I think Texas has passed their peak, to be honest with you. No one thought they had this in them. No one did. And when I say no one, I don't think the coaches thought they had this in them. Dalen Swain is a phenomenal player, and he's been a big part of why they've been able to achieve what they have achieved to this point in the tournament. But you look at Purdue, the difference between the two teams is Purdue is a team that has been together for a long time. I mean, Braden and Fletcher have been 4-year starters. Trey Kaufman-Renn, a 3-year starter. So they know exactly what everyone on the floor, where they need to be, what they need to do. Texas is still figuring it out. They all basically were introduced to one another 9 or 10 months ago. So it's a completely different situation for the two, but Texas has figured out some things. Part of that is Swain and making him matter on every trip down the floor. They have other options as well, but it all flows from Dalen Swain. A 6'8" playmaker like that doesn't come along a lot in college basketball, so it's a really difficult defensive challenge for the Boilers. That's where I think this game is decided. On the one end, Purdue has to be Purdue. At the offensive end, if they are who they are and have been for a while now, 6 consecutive games, or even the loss to Wisconsin, they were that team, they just didn't guard very well. If they are at the offensive end what they need to be, then I think the whole key is Purdue finding someone or some circumstance that makes Dalen Swain less impactful. If you can keep him from creating for others, if you can keep him from getting quality shots, I think you have a comfortable time winning this game.
In the East, Mike, there was talk of UConn being this sort of vulnerable team, and yet and still, here they are in the Sweet 16, preparing to face Michigan State and Tom Izzo. What stands out to you about the matchup between the Huskies and the Spartans?
A lot of it for me is Braylon Mullins. If you were watching the UCLA game against UConn, you saw how excited Dan Hurley got when Braylon Mullins made a short jumper, and then particularly when he made a 3. Braylon Mullins is an elite talent. There's a lot of talk about him going to the NBA draft. I think he needs another year of physical and hoop development. But whatever circumstance he chooses, for now, he is the X factor in UConn's offense. When he is on, they are really hard to play against. And when he's on, it doesn't matter really what you do defensively. He'll just step it out further. He'll shoot from 35. Doesn't matter. That's the thing about him is you have to make him uncomfortable from the jump. If you allow him to get comfort, and that eventually seeped in against the Bruins, and that's why he was a difference maker in that game. When you look at their losses, their recent losses, he's 6 of 24 from the field. I don't think that UConn can beat the best competition if Braylon is not having a day because offensively they're a little loose. They don't have a lot of other great options. They can throw it in the post and score, and Alex Caravan is a guy who's always going to be reliable. He got a big number against UCLA. It was a career high. I think the number was 27. That's uncommon for him because he's really more of a blend player who hurts you when you're not paying attention. Mullins is the guy that you key on if you can stop him if you're the Spartans, and I think they have a lot of bodies to throw at him. I think if you stop him, I think you're in great shape.
Jeremy Fears, the nation's leader in assists. How do you see him going about attacking that UConn defense?
Yeah, first of all, you want to run. You want to go because you're deeper than they are. So you want to be able to get that ball out, and the Spartans are expert at that, and I'm sure Dan Hurley will have coached the Huskies to make sure that there's as much interruption to those quick turnarounds as they can get, but the transition game is the beginning. I think he'll be able to get penetration and make plays against the Huskies. The Huskies have very good interior defense. We saw it. We saw Terrace Reed in the Big Ten at Michigan, and he's continued to improve since then. He's physically powerful. He's an exceptional shot blocker. So you get the ball deep, and then you either kick it back to Jackson Kohler, you dump it off to Carson Cooper. You do those two things, and you have a great opportunity to score against UConn.
All right, Mike D., you hang loose for a few minutes. We'll get back around to you a little bit later in the show to keep the hoops discussion rolling.